Hi Sean and Shannon, we thought you might like a quick overview via video of the certificate features. We've made a few changes to accommodate the date change you requested and also to keep you in line with some things that are required by others for NZQA. So the setup firstly. Now with setup, you can make changes to existing certificates only for a short while you're settling in with this. After that, each certificate template will need to get locked down, and then you simply add new ones if you want to change the content of a certificate. We couldn't have it left open for you to make changes at any time because that would create risk that one person's certificate would be vastly different from someone who did the certificate the next day. So at the moment, very flexible, so that right up until you go live and actually get people physically issued, you're able to make changes if you need them. So where are they set up, and where would you add new templates? You go to organizations certificates. You'll see here we've got 3 different certificate templates for you. Most of your courses are the one-day courses that fit in this general template where the content of all certificates is the same, but there are some fields merged into them. The STMSU, we have done that as a separate template due to the fact it's a 2-day course, and we'll show you more about that in a moment. And then the TTM worker, because you require a slightly different set of wording on that one. So up here you'll see that we have the ability to upload signatures, not needed by you now, but some training businesses put signatures on the certificates, the signature being one signature per template rather than changing in and out by trainer. That's normally an approval person, more an NZQA thing. Images, that's where you upload your background image. So for example, if you move from using your old branding to your new branding, you'll likely want your certificates to have a different border and your new logo in them, and at that point we put up a new background image. The add new button here, that's where you would create a new template. So if you want to move away from the content that is in here, you would do that by adding a new template and applying the new template to your future courses. So let's look inside a template. So if we look at the general one, the one you use most often, you'll see that it's got a name. You can choose the background image. This you could choose, if you had multiple signatures, you could choose which signature goes on all of these, and you can have some text under it, normally the name of the signatory or something like that. The type section, so you'll see that drives one line of what's written on your certificates. Then you've got a subheader, which you use currently. You'll see here how the qualification name, we've just copied and pasted it from up there to make life easy so that you can't get your syntax wrong. So as long as you copy and paste it all the merge fields that are available are here. And then held in venue city on course end date, right, and the validation, the expiry. So all the wording here you'll be familiar with. One thing to really watch out for, because we've got trainer names merged in here, do make sure that you do add a trainer to every course. I guess it's impossible for someone to assess them without being without being a trainer, but if you've got any instances, perhaps Shannon, where you enter assessments for people, do make sure that that person was allocated to the course, otherwise the certificate will look a little bit bare in places. Then if we scroll down here, to cater for your request about issue and expiry dates, we've actually put a lot more control into here. So for in-person courses, you want end date of the course as being the issue date rather than the date that they happen to be assessed, and you want the expiry 36 months exactly from the date. Now some people like that 36 months to be like -1, so that if the course expired today, the 27th of August, then the expiry in 36 months would be the 26th of August. We won't do that in your case. If you want it, you can certainly come back in and change these templates. So course date is always relative, expiry date is relative to issue date. Now you'll see over here we've got an option for online courses. We won't dwell on that since it's not relevant to you, but the reason we had to do a little bit of work to give you the issue date control you needed, Sean, is that for online courses, they actually often want them issued on the date of assessment rather than the course date end. An online course might run for a whole month, but if a person needs their qualification quickly, they'll want to have their certificate, 2 weeks into that 1 month. So that's why we've put some extra control in there for you. Okay, so that's in a nutshell how each certificate template is set up. So if we, what are we going to do? We're going to just look at your overview of certificates. So how do these three differ from each other? The key difference with STMSU, there's really only one difference, and that is that it's a 2-day course, so we've put the 2 days in. It just makes the grammar a bit better to be able to put the 2 days and a dash between them, so that you can be really clear about when the course was held. So that's STMSU, that's its only change. And I think you'll know yourselves that you asked for quite different wording for the TTM. So we've done TTM here with the different wording. So that in a nutshell is how the certificates are set up. The question is, how do they get applied to specific courses? If we come across here to course types, you'll see the qualification that we've assigned to each course. So if you choose the course type STMS Cat A, then the qualification will be STMS Category A course. If you choose B, it'll be STMS Category B course. Now we have a look at this and see if you're happy with these descriptions. If you're not at this point, you can just click on them to edit them. We looked at, however it's written in qualification, is just in these lines here, is how it will appear on the certificate. So, for example, we made STMSU Universal Site Traffic Management Supervisor course. If that's not correct, please just go and change it. If you'd prefer them to be just their abbreviations, just change it back to those. That said, the abbreviations look a little bit weird on the certificate because in one place they come through exact on one line only, and so it does look a little bit odd if you've just got a little abbreviation there. So one thing to check before you go live is that we've got all of these correct. If you want to change any of them, you simply go, and actually I'm a bit lost as to whether the STMS might be the old STMS course. I'm not sure the difference between an STMS and an STMSU, but assuming STMS still is here, I just click this and go, right, I want to change the qualification name from STMS to its full name, site, blah, 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 right? So easy at this point for you to make any corrections that you want to the way a certificate looks. So that whole word will show there. What I forgot to show you in certificates was how to preview. So if we come back to certificates, you do actually in each certificate get a preview of how it's going to look on that certificate. So if I go to this general one here and push preview, it's going to show me a certificate. Let me download a certificate and upload it to my screen here. And so this shows you what fields go where. The reason we point the word course on the end of all the qualification names, is it read better. So it now says has successfully completed the Whakakotahi approved site traffic management supervisor course held in. So we can take course in or off depending on what you think the grammar is. If you want the word course off, you just edit it in the area we're looking at previously. So how do we apply a course, a qualification to a specific course? Of course, once it's set up in your templates, this is going to happen automatically, but just so that you know what the key setup has been, you'll have the ability to choose a certificate, and then from that certificate choose the particular template qualification name that's going to show on the certificate. That will be available to you on all courses, but of course once we've got all of your course types set correctly, we'll be applying those to your existing courses of the same type, and we'll apply, and they'll be in the templates so that they they're automatically applying. But it is always good to know exactly where things come from. I'm just going to scroll up again now, and we're now going to look at the kiosk. So a couple of important things about as they affect instructors. Now, we've added these links in here to make navigation easier for administrators. If you don't see those on Go Live, do let me know. I know I see them. It does depend on exactly how we've got your permissions set as to whether you'll see them in your live site or not. But I find them really useful, so please come and ask me for them if they're not visible to you. So I can go straight from the course to the kiosk, and all of these people have been assessed already, and you'll see that the qualification awarded is here. So if I want to check, I can glance through them all and see. Now Baby Spice here, she hasn't been assessed yet. I've left her for you and I to play with. So here she is, and this is how you assess her. Now, once she's assessed, the instructor can come back and make changes at any time up until the point that that Shannon has been through and approved the certificate, so effectively generated the certificate. So if I've made a mistake, I can actually come back to Baby Spice and take her off initially. However, and if I go back to roll call view, if we look at our friend Sir Gerald Boing Boing, this is still blue. I can still change him, and he hasn't been approved because he just has an issue and an expiry date. Once he's been approved, this will grey out, so an instructor can't make a change. No one can change it, and the approval date will also be noted here, so you know exactly what went on. Right, if we come back to Shannon's area, I'm just going to go home and come back to the administrator area so we can look at how Shannon might approve and send certificates. So if you see a C just here, it means there are certificates available to be approved that have not been approved yet. So you would simply come here, scroll down, and you'll see the approval option right here and click approved. What you won't see today, and it will be put in for you during the day today, so it's available if you want the upgrade in the weekend for Monday, is the assessment details for all students on this booking will actually show right in this space so that you can glance across. Shannon, you're not having to do what people currently do, which is have to export a report and then come back to check it. So we're just adding that in as our last piece of our update to the certificate features. So all the details the instructor entered will show here so that you can go, yeah, I'm happy with that, and click approve. Once you've clicked approve, you will see that you've got the ability to download the certificate. You'll also have the ability to send the certificate. So you can send certificates immediately to back to the booker, and the certificates going to the booker cover everybody certified. So one PDF with 5, for example. You can also, if you did want for any reason to print and mail any, you can print a PDF of all your all certificates on that course. That print all is creating a PDF for printing. It's really useful, Shannon, if you've got like a private course for a company and all the individuals have booked individually, or you've done 2 here and 3 there, but you want to send your key contact all the certificates in one bundle, you'd use that print option instead. So really that in a nutshell is certificates. Oh, what I have forgotten is to show you the certificates area. So somebody calls up and wants to know, did verify that yes, this person did get this qualification on this day. You simply do a search. Obviously, always do the most challenging part of his name. I know I've got some bookings here for Barry Ambrose Windsor Brown, so I'm going to go with Ambrose as my search. You could put 2 names in here, but we do find one. The quickest way to search is to find the least common part of their name. And here it's picked up Barry from his middle name Ambrose, and I've got all 3 options. Obviously, these are just tests, so they're not necessarily things that somebody would do in a row. I've got his date of birth to check about against to make sure I've got the right person. NSN, if you used it, that's the National Student Identifier, which from memory I don't think you use. It states exactly the qualification name that Barry's offered. Now these are a bit different from the ones in the template, and that's just because we've been doing a bit of playing over time, and these ones were created pre the latest round of changes. And then you get the issue date, the expiry date, and the approved date. And you'll see here that this one hasn't actually been approved and sent. So you could, Shannon, if the inquiry was related to the fact they said they hadn't received it and you're really not sure what the story is with it, if you come here, you'll see this one actually, if you just click on it, it's going to take you back so that you'll go, oh, these 3 are looking for approval, and you could then go through the whole process of approving and sending. So that, in a nutshell, is certificates. I hope that's been helpful.